In today's video, we're going to talk about the 8 challenges that every artist will have to face and how to deal with them. Video is basically about all the challenges that I have had to face, my experiences with them, and how to deal with them, right, effectively so you can move forward and achieve your goals as an artist. So let's jump into this video right now. The 8 challenges that you're going to have to face as an artist and how to deal with them. Number 1, boredom. So boredom is the killer of all your dreams. It is the number 1 thing that's going to stop you from achieving your goals. Because if you're unable to stick with something, then how are you going to see the fruits of your labor? So how does boredom happen? Well, boredom doesn't happen straight away because when you start something new, let's say, for example, you started Dash Studio 2025, you started Dash Studio, right? You want to use your creativity and you've seen this brand new 3D product and you're like, hey, I want to give it a go, right? I was like this as well. When I started it back in December 2018, was it, I believe? And I was like, this is brand new. I've never seen this before. So you have that initial excitement factor, that initial buzz factor, right? You're kind of like up here, basically. And then over time, what happens is it will start to go down, okay? The initial excitement, the kind of buzz goes down, and you end up down here, right? Like a normal plateau. It becomes normal. That's when people start to quit, right? They will get bored and they will quit. Now, it doesn't happen straight away. It may take different times for different people, depending on how long you stick with something. So some people may quit after 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, right? Whatever that is for you, we're all unique depending on your stickability factor. That's what happens, boredom. Because what happens with boredom is you're doing the same thing over and over again, repetition, okay? So repetition meaning you're going to put that character into your scene. Then you're going to put the clothes on, the hair on. Then you're going to pose them. Then you're going to do the expression, perhaps. You're going to add other things into the scene. You're going to change your camera. You're going to do your render settings. And you hit that render button. And then you're going to go into your post-work process, right? You're going to do all these things. You're going to do it so many times that it becomes, the excitement factor goes away. It becomes normal. It just becomes a thing you do. And some people just can't handle that. They got bored, right? And they want to move on to the next thing. But like I said, how are you ever going to see the fruits of your labor if you never stick with it? So this is something I had to deal with when I was creating Tiger Dragon the Rebirth here. So you can see Tiger Dragon the Rebirth there, all the different front covers there of the actual book there. And this is 176 pages long. Can you imagine that? That's 2 years worth of work in here, right? For me to create this book. At that time, I could have been bored after page, 35. I don't know what page this is, right? Whatever this page number is I've just shown you here, I could have gotten bored and said, you know what, I'm bored. I don't want to do this story anymore. I'm going to move on to something else. The shiny new thing over there, whatever that brand new shiny new thing is there, I'm going to go over there because that shiny thing is going to give me the buzz that I want. It's going to give me the excitement that I want. I don't even know. I'm looking over there, but something's over there that's shiny. And that's what you need to deal with. So how do you deal with boredom, right, in order to achieve the goals you want to achieve in your life? And you need to, the way I do it is, the way I was able to complete this book and create this story is I connect to it. I connect to my vision, my goal every single day. So what does that look like? So basically I think about it. I almost obsess about it. I write about it. I journal about it, right? Journaling, this is very important. This is one of the things that I have my bookmark here, right? This bookmark isn't here just for it looks cool. It does look cool, right? You got this really cool image here. But you've got this bookmark here. And then over here, we've got here, journal to create clarity to achieve your goals. Okay. I journal. These are the 4 things that I remind myself every single day. This is why I have this bookmark here, right? Very important to have something that reminds you, to keeps you on task, right? So I'm always thinking about it, writing about it. Even when I'm meditating, yes, I do meditate. And I'm thinking about my stories, what I want to create, and I connect with it. And that's what I do. It's just having that constant daily connection with the thing you're trying to achieve is going to keep that passion going, keep that fuel going, that fire going. And then you don't really get bored, right? And even when you get bored, you still push past that boredom because you're always connecting to that thing that you want to achieve, right, in your life, that goal you want to achieve. So that's my kind of tip for you is to constantly connect with that thing. Is to get excited about it. You have to get excited about it, right? Don't look for outside motivation. That's not going to work. You need that internal motivation, okay? So that's how I was able to complete this, how I'm still sticking with Dash Studio, how I'm still creating YouTube videos, even though the YouTube videos are not as fast as they used to be. I'm still doing it, right? And that's me pushing past my board and getting excited about this video I'm creating because I know this video is going to help somebody because it's something that I was struggling with. And hopefully when someone watches the video, they will be like, oh, Palmy was struggling with this. So if he got over it, I can get over it. I can take something that he's learned on board and I can apply that in my life, and hopefully that will help me to push past and achieve my goals. That's what it's all about. So that's kind of like how you push past boredom, connect to your vision every single day. And even though there might be things in the world or people in the world that will stop you from going towards that vision that you want, there will like things will happen, which we'll discuss later on in the video. You continue doing that, right? Continue that process, continue connecting with it, continue fueling that flame, lighting that passion, that flame that you got inside of you, right? Keep kindling that fire inside of you. And that's how you go and achieve your goals, basically. That's how you push past boredom as an artist, or push past boredom in anything. Number 2, jealousy. This is very important because as an artist, as a human being, you're going to be jealous of people. It's a natural human emotion, but it's how you deal with jealousy that's going to help you to push past that and achieve your goals. I've been jealous in my life of other people. I'm sure you have as well. Everybody's been jealous. Like I said, natural human emotion. And what that jealousy is, it's basically a mirror to your insecurities, right? So when I see something or someone I'm jealous of, it's an insecurity I got to deal with myself. It's the mirror, the reflection back at me saying, why are you insecure about this person? Why are you jealous about this person, right? And it's looking within to resolve that. It's not looking without, it's looking within. And that's where the magic happens. You could be jealous of an artist, right? And that's way ahead of you. And you're jealous of that artist. You're saying, why is that artist so good? Maybe they're just cleverer than me. Maybe they're just better than me. Maybe they just like got this gift or natural gift that I don't have. And therefore I'll never be like this artist. I'll never be able to achieve my goals, dreams, whatever that is, right? Now, that isn't necessarily true, but that's a story you're telling yourself about that jealousy. And what you're going to do is, because you're jealous of someone, what you're going to do is you're going to complain about it. You're going to moan about it. You're going to go into victim mentality. And what you're going to end up doing is be like this. You're going to be like, well, that person's like this, so I'm never going to be like them. And well, they've had all these particular like things that I don't have, right? They come from a better off family, a better off area, and all that stuff. And I'm jealous of them. I want that thing. I wanted that thing. I'm never going to get it. And so what happens is you're stuck, right? You're stuck doing that. You're stuck in jealousy mode. You're not moving anywhere. You're still where you are. You're still going to be where you are if you're still jealous, right? You're not going to move, right? Whereas that person that you're jealous of is still continuously moving. They're moving further and further and further away from where you want to be, or where you would like to be. And that's something to note, right? There's no point just being jealous. You're going to be stuck where you are, and that's not great, right? Whereas that other person that you're jealous of is going to keep moving. So that's very, very important to understand that you're going to be jealous of somebody. Now, I'm jealous of somebody as well, right? So I'm not just saying like this happens to you. This happens to me as well. This is why I'm explaining this video here. So I'm jealous about a thing. So currently my main kind of like jealousy, kind of like putting my insecurity, right? My main insecurity is Kickstarter, right? I failed on Kickstarter. I failed on 2 crowdfunding projects. The first one was Indiegogo, which is August 2020. And the second one was Kickstarter, which was in February 2024. So there's 2 failures there. And I'm seeing other people who are they are getting their comics funded, right? And I'm thinking like, how are they getting their comics funded? This doesn't make sense. It's not fair, etc. All that victim mindset mentality comes in, right? And that's my current like jealousy, right? I'm gonna look at someone's like Kickstarter. I'm like, how on earth are they doing this? This doesn't make sense, right? Like, how are they able to do it? I can't do it for some reason. Maybe I'm not meant to do it. And all that kind of like negative kind of like talk comes in, right? To stop you from having another go at it and quit, basically. So that's the kind of like jealousy factor there. But how do you deal with it, right? So the strategy, or the kind of like way I've dealt with jealousy, is to ask myself the question first. The question you want to ask yourself is that person that I'm jealous of creating the thing that I want to create? Is that person that you're jealous of, in terms of artists, right, creating the thing that you want to create? So if, for example, me, the person that is creating female portraits, I've got no reason to be jealous of that person of the doing female portraits, because that's not what I want to create. I want to create heroic stories. So that's like, doesn't make sense. So that's the first question I would ask, is like, that person, that artist that is creating that particular art and you're jealous of it, why are you jealous of it for? First of all, are they creating the thing that you want to create, right? So if they're not, why are you jealous of it? Doesn't make sense. Okay. Okay, let's say if that artist is creating the thing that you're creating, hey, you're doing female portraits or whatever you're doing, right? I'm just going female portraits because that's what I used to create back in the day. So they're creating female portraits. Their female portraits are absolutely freaking amazing, and you're jealous of them, right? Like, what do you do then? Well, then you use what I call the Jedi mind trick. And the Jedi mind trick is basically you flip that switch. Instead of you being jealous of that person, you start analyzing what they are creating. You analyze, you try to learn from them, right? Now, if they've got a YouTube channel, you can learn through there. That's awesome. If they haven't, what can you do though? You can look at their work and critique it, right? Look at it and see what have they done. So like, okay, what have they done with this? What makes this artwork look so great? They've obviously used some sort of filters, right? And they've obviously may have used some, like the expression is really cool. Oh, the hair. I never noticed that the hair is flowing, which kind of adds to that the actual imagery there. So they've got the hair flowing. Oh, I need to do that next time, right? So you start to, instead of like being like frustrated and like jealous and stay like being all like, basically moaning and complaining, you're actually taking an action on the thing. You're moving forward. You're actually progressing. So you've done your Jedi mind trick. You flip that switch and you're progressing by learning from what that actual image looks like and trying to figure out why that image is so good, why that female portrait is so good. What have they done, right? Is there a particular technique you can understand? And then you can start applying that. And that's the better way, better use of your time instead of just being jealous of somebody and complaining. And that's the same for me, right? So as I'm looking at other people's Kickstarters, what am I doing? I'm not being jealous of them. I'm using the Jedi mind trick, flipping that switch and saying, okay, they managed to fund that campaign. What did they do? Now, you can see some things right on the actual Kickstarter platform. You can see some things. For example, you can go, if you actually if you've actually pledged for the campaign, you can see more. So you can see like the emails they send you, the posts and all that kind of stuff. So you can see like how they gradually built up to how they managed to do the campaign. Obviously, you can't see everything. You can't see the behind the scenes stuff. Like maybe they run some ads, Facebook ads or something like that. You don't know what they don't know. Maybe there's some kind of media outreach. You don't know anything about that. But you can at least learn a certain amount, and that's going to help you to do better with your Kickstarter campaign next time, right? Personally, for me anyway, that's where I'm talking. So that's how you deal with jealousy. It's okay to be jealous. What is not okay is to moan and stay stuck and be like, oh, that person's so and so. No, take action, right? Flip that switch, Jedi mind trick, and then go and learn from that person, and then you will move forward towards your goals as an artist. So that's how you deal with jealousy. Number 3, criticism. Criticism is vital for your growth as an artist, because when you're in that zone, right, your zone of genius, you're like this, right? Like I said, you're like this, basically. You've got a very narrow field of vision and you are focusing on your goals, right? What the criticism is going to do is it's going to allow you to see your blind spots, right? Because I've got many blind spots. I can't see everything. There's only a certain amount of things I'm focusing on. So I'm going to have certain blind spots, and there are other people out there that will be able to point them out to me. What's going to happen is when you get criticized, is it's going to hurt, right? It's going to feel like it's a personal attack on you. I felt like this, right? When people have like left comments on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, or maybe on Instagram when I was posting on Instagram. Don't do that anymore. When I was doing that, you get these comments, and I was like, it feels like a personal attack. Now, it isn't as a personal attack. It's going to hurt. But what you need to understand is that some of those criticisms are going to help you to get better at your craft. However, not all criticism is valid. Okay, so there are 2 types of critics. There's the first type of critic, which is the one in the arena. So this critic is the one that is basically doing the same thing as you. All right, so in my case, they are creating comics. They are trying to get their comic book crowdfunded through Kickstarter, Indiegogo. They are trying to do what you're doing, okay? And they're trying to create a business and a life and create these amazing stories that they're trying to do. So that's the first kind of critic. They're in your field, right? They're in that arena, getting their butt kicked, getting up, dusting themselves off, and continuing on again, right? And then you got the second type of critic, which is the one that is not in the arena, the one in the stands, okay? This is a critic who is basically, if you're, for example, I like watching football sometimes, soccer if you're in America or somewhere else in the world, and That's like me shouting at the player and saying, "Hey, I'm in the stands, right? Standing and telling the player, "Hey, you should have passed it over there, not there. You should have done this, should have done that." Why is that player going to listen to me? I'm not an expert in that field. I haven't been where he's been. I've never been on that pitch in that kind of pressure on that kind of stage, right? And he's going to listen to me. That football player is going to listen to me. No, why is he going to listen to me? I got no experience, right? So that's that second type of critic where they're not in the arena. They're just throwing advice at you or not advice, criticism at you. And, they're not even trying to help you. They're just blurting it out, right? And that's the second type of critic. So now that you know the two types of critics, you need to ask yourself the question, is it true? When critic number one, the one in the arena, says something, is it true? Is it valid? Yes or no? Critic number two, the one outside the arena, is it valid? Is it true? Yes or no? If it is, on both occasions, take it on board and basically use it and get better. If it's not true, discard it, move on. Simple, right? Now, obviously, this still hurts when you get criticism. I'm not great at it, right? I'm still not great at it. I still struggle with it because I take it personally for whatever reason. And I need to get better at that, obviously. So the way I handle criticism is I take both in, okay? So I will take the one in the arena and I will take the one out of the arena. And I feel like the best way to get back at anybody is to take the criticism on, right? So it's to basically, for example, the criticism that's coming from the one in the arena is going to be helpful anyway. You know that is because they're doing the thing that you're doing. But the criticism that's judged sometimes outside the arena that never been where you are, never done the thing you have, sometimes there is a golden nugget in there. And what I like to do is very sneaky, but what I like to do is take that criticism on board, not tell that person, the one who's outside the arena, who's never done the thing that I'm trying to do, and get better. And that's my personal way of getting back at them, right? Because what I used to do before, this is very bad, do not do this, is the person who's outside the arena who would leave a comment on one of my YouTube videos I used to do back in the day. I would have this long YouTube rant with that person. What a waste of freaking time, right? I got better things to do than have this YouTube comment war with this person. It was really, really silly back in the day. Hopefully I'm more wiser now, more smarter with that. So I don't do that anymore. I don't do that at all, actually. So the best way to get back at them is like when someone leaves a comment, they may not even know they've left this golden nugget. You've taken that on board and that's made you better. That is the best way to get back at them 100%. Now, it seems a bit sneaky, devious. It's not. It's like, hey, you've just given me a golden piece of nugget. You think you've hurt me, but you haven't hurt me. I've taken that on board. I've gotten better. And now I'm going to go and achieve my goals. Thank you very much. Awesome. That's the way I use criticism to help me to achieve my goals. That's the way you should use criticism and apply that into your life. It's not easy, right? Criticism is the one that really does hurt. And that's what I would definitely recommend in terms of using criticism to help you become a better artist. Number 4, failure. Now, you're going to fail as an artist. You're going to fail in life. It is a thing that is just going to happen. You must accept that you're going to fail, right? So it's just part of life. Whenever you try something new, what happens? You fail, right? And most people don't want to share their failures because they feel embarrassed. They feel like they're less than because they never managed to get this thing right the first time because of the climate we live in, right? With social media. Every time we turn on social media, maybe you turn it on and I turn it on as well sometimes, or the news, you just see instant success. You're like, this person was great at the beginning. They're absolutely amazing. They're absolutely awesome. And you're not. And, you keep seeing that every single day. This person who's like the finished article, right? And you thinking like, well, they're great straight away and I'm not great straight away. Therefore, I'm not meant to do this, right? Because they were awesome straight away. That's not true. They didn't share the journey with you. You didn't see them fail 10,000 times. You didn't see them do this behind the scenes, right? There wasn't a camera there to pick up all the embarrassing things that happened, right, along the way for them to become great at their craft. That's failure. It's just like you need to understand that that's part of the learning process. So how do you deal with failure? This is something that I have to deal with as well, right? I'm not saying like I'm great at this as well. I have to deal with failure. I'm not very great at it, but I'm still improving. So the way that I kind of like deal with failure is you have to see failure as a part of the learning process. It's feedback, right? Failure is feedback, meaning like you're going to try something and you're going to fail. You're going to learn from it and then you're going to apply the learnings and then try again. So a great example of this is, let's say when you learn how to ride a bike. Now, when I first learned how to ride a bike, I didn't have the training wheels on. Got on the bike, right? And this is back in the days when we didn't wear helmets or those guards and stuff, right? And stuff like that. This is back in the 80s, okay? So we didn't do safety back in the day, right? We was like rough animals, right? Basically, we was like, we'll go for it. We don't care, right? And so I got on my bike. I went about, I don't know, probably 10 feet, fell, right? Fell off lost balance, bam, on the ground, and I'm crying, and like I'm bleeding, like blood coming out from my knee, scraped my knee and my arm and everything, right? And I was a kid, right? I was only about 7, 8 years old or something like that. Then what happened, right? So I was like, I tried again and I fell off again. And eventually my parents got training wheels, which helped me to get my balance. And then eventually, once I got my balance, they took off the training wheels, and then I was able to do it, right? I was like, oh, I'm doing it now. I'm balancing, right? So this is the failure, kind of like the failure, and then learning from that failure, and then eventually now you can ride a bike. Now, when you get on any bike, I can get on any bike, right, and just ride it. It doesn't matter because I learned how to do it, just as you have, right? And that's what failure is. Failure is feedback. You have to see as that. It's like anybody who's ever achieved anything of greatness that you admire, right? So let's say, for example, like I said, I like football, soccer. My favorite player is Cristiano Ronaldo. When he was at Manchester United early on, when he's like 18 years old, he kept doing like silly things. He kept like showing off and doing step overs and tricks and things. And the manager would get mad at him, and he realized he had to improve and grow. And then eventually over time, you saw the growth in the team and his performance. You saw him get better. You saw him do less tricks. You saw him being more of a team player. You saw him running into the box and scoring goals and free kicks and stuff. Things started to improve because he understood that failure is feedback, right? He understood that this is not helping my team to get score goals, to win the games, because I want to win things. I want to win trophies. That's what I'm here to do. That's how anybody, like I said, great that you admire is able to become great at their particular craft, because they understood that failure is feedback. It's not the end of the world. All it means, it's a learning point for you. And you should be grateful that you are failing, because what that means is you're trying something new. The majority of people out in the world will not even try something new because they're so paralyzed by failure, so paralyzed by making a mistake, that they're never going to achieve their goals. That just go for it, right? It doesn't matter if you fail. You know what? It's great that you did fail, because that means at least you attempted to move towards your goals, instead of just sitting there and bemoaning yourself and other people who are actually going for the goals and getting jealous of them. Remember that, bringing it back. You're getting jealous of them. Why are you getting jealous of them? You want that particular life that they want, or you want that particular thing they want, or you thinking like you could be like that, you could have been like them. Well, why did you get scared of failure? You've got to go for it, right? You've got to go for it. Like I said, failure is feedback, okay? So what does this mean for me? So with my Kickstarter failure, my crowdfunding failure, I'm going to try again, right? So I'm going to try the third time. Heck, if that fails, fourth time, try again. Fifth time, try again, right? Failure is feedback. Don't be afraid to attempt something new. Understand that you're going to fail. Nobody gets it right the first time. And that's how you achieve your goals. You fail, you learn, you grow, you try again, you fail, you learn and grow. See, you get higher and higher, you start getting higher and higher to the point where you actually achieve your goals. That's how it works. So failure is feedback. Number 5, always be learning. So this is my main philosophy here, always be learning, or continuously learning, which is here on my bookmark. Again, this bookmark is not just for show, right? This is actual information that's going to help you to achieve your goals. I didn't create this bookmark for fun, right? I created it because I want to achieve my freaking goals. I want a constant reminder that's going to help me to achieve my goals. And I use it all the time when I'm reading my books, right? This bookmark is an actual bookmark. What got you here, your current skill set, where I am right now, for me personally, or for you personally, is going to only take you so far. You have to be continuously learning. Never think like, hey, I've learned everything. You're not going to learn everything about Dance Studio or about portrait photography or whatever you're doing in Dance Studio as an artist in 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. It's a continuous learning thing. You're going to run out of time before you run out of the number of things to learn to get absolutely amazing at your craft. You have to invest in your learning. What does that mean? It means reading books, listen to podcasts, watching YouTube videos. Hey, like my YouTube channel you're watching right now. Awesome. Great. I appreciate it. Thank you. Hopefully you're learning something. Investing in courses. Okay, you need to do this in order for you to move forward and progress in your artistic career. So what does that look like, right? How do I do it? So let me give you an idea how I do it. Mainly I do it through books, obviously, because it's like artist stuff. I'll do it through courses, because I need to learn about storytelling. So it's mainly books and courses for me that I use to continue my learning. So to the people that are creating heroic stories, which is basically manga. So I'm looking at manga and anime now, and I'm trying to integrate the learnings from there into my storytelling. So what are they doing that's slightly different, slightly unique, that can be integrated into my story, but still keeping that kind of like Western kind of like storytelling feel to it. Meaning like you're still reading left to right in my stories. You're not reading right to left, because in manga you read right to left. Okay, so it's slightly different. So what I do is I analyze stories. So I got this one here, Spy X Family here. I really love this, by the way. This is a great story. Why I like it is because it's action orientated. So there's action in there. There's a lot of like mystery and intrigue in there as well. And there's the spy factor, right? The spy factor in there. This is kind of like James Bond kind of stuff going on, which is kind of cool. And then you've got the family aspect here as well, which is what my story is about, family, right? Very underserved market family, because basically we don't really see stories about family anymore, and then you wonder why there are so many broken families, right? So if you don't see something that exists in the world, then it doesn't exist, right? You don't know if it exists. So that's what I like about this. So it's basically, there's a lot of like cool things in here where they do all these like amazing things. So like, for example, this kind of like sequence here, kind of show you this there, like that, right? That kind of like, can I create something like that? Not exactly like that, right? I'm not going to be able to create something exactly like that with Dash Studio, but can I create something like that in a panel like that of impact that's going to be like, wow, you look at that, there's impact there, right? There's energy to that panel. These are all the different learnings you can learn from manga. There's another manga here, Black Clover. So basically, I just go through and I'm not just trying to learn from this stories, right? So as I go through, I'm just trying to understand storytelling from them, like how they use the sound effects here and everything, and kind of input that. So that's like my always be learning plus my continuous learning. So even with Dash Studio, what am I doing? Continuous learning. Those Dash Studio learnings are going to be from the Dash stores or YouTube. So usually I would go to the Dash 3D store and I would go to my main learning place. Dash Studio store is going to be Digital Art Live, which is where I get most of my tutorials from. And it's going to be specific, right? So remember, you want to do learning that's specific to you. So in my case, it's storytelling, okay? In your case, it could be like, hey, I want to create portrait lighting. Well, go and find somebody who's great at portrait lighting and try to understand that. Whether it's a Dash Studio tutorial, or whether it's like a YouTube tutorial where somebody's just generally talking about portrait lighting, you can learn a lot from that, even when it's like free on YouTube. So you can learn a lot from that, and then you can start to integrate it into your learnings. That's what I mean, right? You can learn from different areas, and that's how the connection, that's how you make unique connections that are unique to you. That's going to make your work stand out from everybody else. Your work's going to be different because you're making the unique connections, the way your brain works, in order for you to take what you've learned on board and then apply that, and then your work you'll start to see the differences, right? You start to see the progress in your work. So always be learning, always continuously progress. Never think you have arrived, right? No one's ever arrived. You're always learning. You're always getting feedback, criticism, all right? That's how you learn. We're going back to they're all building on each other. All these things I'm talking about, they're all building on each other. You're going to get the criticism, then you're going to take that on board, whatever works, what doesn't. And that's how you're going to become a better artist, is to understand that you always need to be learning. You never think like, hey, I know this. I know right now I'm not the best storyteller. Am I getting better? Yes. Right? Don't just learn something and then just be like, oh, I've learned it. No. Have you actually applied it? Do you actually understand it like at a deeper level? Do you understand why the lighting, for example, needs to come from this angle here? As you can see, this shiny kind of bit on my head here. The lighting is coming from the top here, from the one bulb in this room. I would prefer if that lighting wasn't there. I don't like the shiny head here, right? But it is what it is, right? I can't control that. I don't have the proper YouTube setup with all the fancy lighting and everything, but it'll do, right? So that's understanding lighting and all that kind of stuff. And as you can see here, like the catch lights in my eyes, where is that coming from? It's coming from the screen here. So that's me learning. These are all the things that I've learned, right? These are all the things that I've learned from lighting, from the basic lighting that I have. I'm not an expert lighting. I'm just saying I've learned these things. These are simple things you can learn as well that are going to help you to get better at your craft. So yes, always be learning. Understand that there's always something new to learn. Never ever think that you have arrived. Number 6, share your knowledge. Now this is quite a funny one, because this is something that I find really funny. I did it at the beginning as well, right? So a lot of artists don't want to share their knowledge because they're afraid that if you learn the thing that they've like spent ages learning, then their work will never be unique, right? You'll just copy what they do, and they will become obsolete, so to speak. And that's not true. That's far from the truth. Okay, I thought like this as well before I started my YouTube channel. Before I was thinking about the things I wanted to share, I was like, if I share everything, then the people there who actually watch these videos are gonna be like the same as me. They're just gonna learn the same thing. But that's not true. How do I know this? From experience. This all comes from a scarcity mindset, right? You're scared as an artist, thinking like, if you learn the things that I learn, then I'm going to be obsolete. That is far from the truth. Just think about all the great artists before us, right? We're talking like way before we were born. Okay, we're talking about Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Vincent van Gogh. Don't you think other people looked at their work and realized like, oh, they did this, they did this, they did this, they understood about the third rule or something. They understood about this. And yet their artwork is still unique, right? Nobody's gone and just created the same thing as them, right? They've learned techniques from them and applied it into what they're creating. That is the difference, okay? That person that is sharing the information doesn't mean that that person who's learning the information, rather, is going to just copy exactly what you did. No, they're going to take what they learn from you and they're going to apply it to what they're doing. That's the difference, okay? So, for example, I'm learning about storytelling. That doesn't mean my stories are going to be exactly like the person I'm learning the stories from. It's going to be like, my story is not going to be like Spy X Family, is it? No, it's going to be like, okay, understanding how the panel layouts work, understanding how action scenes work, and then applying that into my story. It's a completely different thing, right? You're learning the techniques, and then you're applying those techniques, that skill, to what you want to create. That's the difference. So I think that's what scares like artists from sharing their work. And it's not true, right? Now, there may be a small percentage of people that will just copy and paste. They will just get put in the copy and paste kind of like group of people, which is like easily ignored. You can ignore that. People will ignore them. They'll be like, hey, you're just the same as that person, but that person was the original, so I'm going to go with them, not with you, because you're just copy and paste, and they're going to be forgotten. So don't worry about that, right? As an artist, when you're sharing your work. Also, when you're sharing your work, I'm not saying share it for free. If you want to share it for free, like I do, right, on YouTube, I'm doing the tutorials. I don't ask for anything, right? In terms of monetary value, if you want to support me, right, yeah, go on support this book, Tiger Dragon the Rebirth, heroic story. Yeah, if you want a heroic story, this is for you. If you want an action story, this is for you. If you want a fantasy story based on Japanese mythology and kami and gods and stuff like that, this is for you, right? It's straightforward. It's for you. So if you want to support me, yeah, go on, get on my email list, and you can get the first 24 pages of this story here of a 176-page book. So that's a way you can support me. The only thing that is happening with YouTube is that it is you're using time, right? The most valuable resource you and I have is time. So you're using your time, precious time. You can't get that back. There's no time machine, no back to the future, right? Can't go to the past and change things. You're just using your time, your most precious resource, to learn this thing. Now, obviously, if you want to charge, yes, go ahead and charge. You have spent, as an artist, you maybe learned, you've gone to the deeper level. You've learned the nuances, right? Nuances, the little subtle things that you can only get when you go to deeper learning level. You can't get it when you're surface level learning. And so what you need to do is you can charge for that. That's absolutely fine. How do I know this? People charge for stuff all the time. Go to the Daz 3D shop, go click on tutorials. You'll see a bunch of tutorials that you have to pay for, right? In order to learn from somebody who's done the work. They've done the work, they've got X amount of experience, they've got the nuances, they've gone to a deeper level, and you can learn from that person. So yes, charge. Create a tutorial, whatever you want to do, put it on whatever platform you want to put it on, your Patreon, whatever, right? And teach people. That's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Never ever feel like you should never charge for something. You work damn hard for this. So if you want to charge for it, that is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Because I really, really despise people who think that everything should be available for free. No, this person that you're trying to learn from has put their heart and soul. They've put so much time. Remember, time, your most precious resource, into learning this thing, becoming really great at this thing, and you want it for free? Are you kidding me? This person has gone through so much failure, has gone through so much criticism, has gone past boredom, has done all those things, right? And you just want it for free. Are you having a laugh? No, right? You got to pay for that. This person has got that experience, that thing that you want to learn, that's probably going to take you an hour to learn maybe, has taken that person a year, 5 years to learn, right? And you're probably going to learn that thing within an hour, but you're not going to, you're going to learn that thing within an hour, but you're not going to fully understand it until you go to a deeper level. So never be afraid to charge as an artist for your work. You have worked hard for that thing, just like I'm not afraid to charge for what this is worth. 176-page book. I can tell you right now, it's actually $14.99, right? This book is £14.99 in British pounds, right? So never, never, ever be afraid to charge for what you're worth. Nothing wrong with that. You've done the work. Never feel like that you shouldn't charge for something you've done the work, that you generally done the work as an artist, and you want to share your knowledge. Fantastic. And you want to charge for it. Awesome. Go do it. When you are as an artist, you are putting your work out there, you're sharing your work, and you're charging for it. You're separating people, right? You're separating the real learners from the would-be learners, okay? You're separating the people that actually want to learn from the ones who are like, yeah, I don't really want to learn. I don't want it that bad, right? I don't want it that bad. The people that want it that bad will find a way because they want to learn, they want to understand what they're trying to create. They want to get better at it. Share your work as an artist. Really do, if you want to do it for free, like I am, sharing the stuff here, that's fine. If you want to charge for it, yes, go ahead and charge. Do not feel bad about that. As long as you sincerely done the work, I ain't got a problem with that. Please go ahead and share your knowledge. Pay it forward. As an artist, go do that. It's absolutely amazing when you do that as well. You feel great as well when you help somebody learn and you're just like, hey, I learned something from this person, but I integrated it into me, and then I shared that knowledge with another person, and now they're moving forward. And it makes you feel great, right? It makes you feel like a good human being. So share your knowledge. Number 7, patience with your progress. As an artist, you need to have patience with your progress, because there are certain things that are going to come easy to you, certain topics you can learn that you'll be able to learn straight away. And there are other topics that are going to be very, very difficult for you to learn. It all depends also on how you learn, right? How do you learn? Some people learn differently. Maybe they like to learn from books, YouTube videos usually, or whatever your format is of choice of learning. That is your thing, right? That is how you learn. Absolutely fine. At least you found a way to understand the way you learn best, right? Your best method of learning. Awesome. But there are topics that are, like I said, they're going to come easy to you because just the way you're naturally inclined on certain topics, and some things are going to be harder for you that you just won't get. And it's usually the things that you need to improve on, which are the hardest to learn, which are really frustrating, you're going to get really frustrated about. That's what I found in my experience anyways. But what happens is, as you continue to learn from different avenues about this thing, different areas, okay? Could be from another book, could be from a podcast, could be from another YouTube video, right? From another person. You're starting to put this information together, and your brain is working on that subconsciously, right? It's working subconsciously to put all that together. And then it may be 3 months down the line, maybe a little bit of time has passed, maybe 4 months, 3 months, 2 months, whatever that is for you, where you will be like, I get it. And it's like, yes, that's what happens. You're like, I get it. I was like, I couldn't do this 3 months ago, and now I understand it. I don't get it. That's the beauty of your brain, right? Even though you can't see it, that thing is learning 24/7, is helping you out. So you should really treat it with respect, since it controls everything. And especially your learning and your ideation, right? That's what I mean by patience with your progress. You're not going to get everything straight away, right? Lighting is very difficult for me to learn. Writing stories is very difficult for me like this. And doing the marketing and Kickstarter stuff, I still don't get it. I still don't understand it. But I'm learning, getting better, right? I'm trying to get better anyway. That's why it requires patience. And the problem, again, is with the current climate we live in with social media is we're just seeing their wins, okay? We're just seeing people's how great they are now. We're not seeing how they were before. So you could look at, say, your favorite YouTuber. Go look at your favorite YouTuber. I'm sure you have one. Look at how many subscribers they have, right? Some of them may have 500,000, 700 and something thousand, 1 million, 2 million, right? Whatever it is, right? They have this many subscribers, okay? And then go have a look at their current video. How polished is that current video? That current video is so slick. It's so polished, right? It's amazing. Go look at their first video. If it's still there, it should still be on the channel. My first video is on the channel. Go look at my first video. It is so bad, right? The audio quality is bad. The way I'm talking is monotone like this because I didn't be myself and I was worried about what other people thought of me. So I was basically talking like that. Now I don't care. It's the whole point is I'm more comfortable with who I am as I've gotten older, as I've progressed on my journey. I'm like, hey, I am who I am. If you don't like who I am, cool, go find somebody who's going to help you to achieve your goals. I ain't got a problem with that. But if you do like where I am, appreciate it. You don't have to like me, right? And then you see the first video and you like see that first video of the person, and then you can see that patience they had, that progress. And then you're wondering, how did they get 2 million subscribers or 500,000 subscribers? Have a look at how many videos they made or how many live streams they've done. I bet you've done like 1,000 videos, right? Or something silly like that, or whatever it is. And that's why they've got so many subscribers, because they have got patience. They continued with that, learning from creating the videos, getting better, and all the rest of that stuff. So they're basically learning from their failures, through the criticism, going past boredom, right? Always learning. See how all these things that I'm teaching in this video are all like overlapping, coming. They build upon each other. That's how it works. So that's how you get better at your artistic craft, is to be patient with your progress. This doesn't mean like you're just like, oh, okay, it's going to take me 5 years to become great. I'll just work really, really slowly, right? No, you have to be what's called aggressive patience, right? So aggressive patience is like, I know it might take me 5-10 years to become really, really good. If I don't quit, if I carry on, if I get past boredom, if I look at the criticism to get better, if I look at failure as feedback, use jealousy, do the Jedi mind trick, and learn from other people. Not be jealous of them, but learn from other people. Put all those factors in. It's going to take me 5-10 years, right? Essentially. But that doesn't mean I'm going to be like slow with my progress. I'm going to be aggressive, which means I'm going to do my tasks that are going to move me forward and get there quicker if possible, right? So you're trying to bring that timeline down. So instead of saying like, hey, it's going to be 10 years, it only took me 7 years. I've cut 3 years off by being more aggressive. That means being more intentional in my approach, which means saying, okay, I need to, every single day, I'm going to do my 3 or 5 things, usually my 3 things, that's what I do. The 3 things I'm going to do tomorrow that is going to move me closer towards my goals. So once I accomplish those three things, I'm done for the day, or I can do some more if you want to. But I've got to accomplish those 3 things every single day. And that's a way of keeping yourself accountable with that aggressive patience kind of part, with your progress as well. So that's what I mean by patience. I don't mean like, hey, oh, it's going to take me 5 years. No. Yeah, it's going to take you 5 years, but wouldn't it be better if you actually actively were pursuing something within great intent and being intentional about your learning, and you can reduce that 5 years to possibly 3 years, right, with your learning and being more intentional in your approach. So that's what I mean by patience with your progress. You've got to have patience with your progress. Don't quit too early, right? Don't think just because of social media, all of that. You see people having this success. I'm sure you got some people on social media, whatever that is. They've got so many followers, so many likes and all that stuff. That success didn't come straight away. It looks like they had it straight away. It isn't. Remember to think about it critically, right? Use your beautiful brain that you have. Look at it critically, right? That's patience with your progress. Be patient with your progress. Aggressive patience. Be intentional in your approach. Understand it's going to take time. Understand you're going to have frustrations when you're learning something that you actually want to learn and you don't understand it. You learn at different speeds. Everybody learns at different speeds. Don't be too concerned about that person who appears to be learning faster than you. That's the way they learn, okay? And what will happen is there are certain topics that you will just get like that where they struggled with. So don't worry about that. Remember, progress is the key. Make sure you make your progress every single day. And when you see that progress every single day, that's the magic, right? That's the magic. What happens with the progress is you're seeing like, oh, this is where I was 3 months ago. This is where I am 3 months later. Wow, I've improved. My liking's gone better. Oh, this has gone better, right? And that's how you need to look at it. And that gives you that internal feedback mechanism of you improving and makes you want to carry on with your artistic career. Number 8, create the art that you want to create. So as an artist, a lot of us begin, I've done this myself, okay, where we begin by creating art that is not our true reflection of ourselves. We're creating art to get external validation, right? So what does that mean? You're creating art that you know will get the likes, will get the views, will get the followers, the subscribers, whatever that is, whatever platform you're on. That's what you're doing at the beginning, okay? You're getting that external validation. You already know what works. In society, in culture, we already know what works in order to get the likes and the views. You see all the time. Take, for example, YouTube videos. If you just have a look at some YouTube videos, you'll see like a YouTube thumbnail that's very polarizing. you're going to click on that YouTube thumbnail, right? Same here. I click on it as well, right? I'm not inhuman to this. This works on me, works on every human, right? That's why they do it. A polarizing title with a polarizing particular YouTube thumbnail, and you're going to click on it. That's what works, right? In that ecosystem, that's what works. If you want views, that's what works. And it may not even be a topic that you care about, but you are doing it because it's going to give you the subscribers, the views, the likes, right? Whatever, because it's a current trending thing. So usually whatever is trending, that's what people go and do. That doesn't necessarily mean that thing that you use trending is what you actually want to create. So, for example, when I first started my journey, I was creating female art, right? So, female art of female characters. This is very embarrassing, but I'll tell you anyway. Female art with female characters with big assets. Basically, I'll let your imagination work on that. And then I would create art like that, basically, because that's what the people I was following, all right? These people that I was looking at, they were creating that kind of art. And I thought like, oh, if I want to get people that like my stuff, then I need to create art like this. So I was creating art like that. Then I started to move towards female portraits because that stuff got like a lot of like likes and followers, etc. But there was a point in time where I was like thinking like, you know what? I'm getting bored of this. I'm like, this isn't really what I want to do. It doesn't really light me on fire. Yeah, it gets me the external validation, but that's fleeting. That external validation is fleeting, right? It's like it comes and goes. You'll get it. You'll get a hit, a high. And then after that, it's just like you come down again, right? Really quick, down. You get your dopamine hit, and then you come down again. It's not lasting. And I thought, okay, what do I want to do? And eventually I went through the process and I started to create. I was like, I want to create stories. I want to create heroic stories. I liked that as a kid. I want to do that. Okay, so I need to learn how to do that. Fantastic. So that's how I started to get into that kind of like shift from creating art that was just for the likes, the views, the external validation, the social media stuff, right? The art that I didn't really want to create, and move to something that I wanted to really create, which is these stories here, right? Which is what I really want to create. Now, what you'll find is when you want to create the thing that you want to create, you're getting that internal validation, all right? You feel good about yourself. Man, I feel great I created this story here. I feel great that I created this. I'm proud of this, right? Internal validation. I'm proud of this story. Man, I would happily show this to my nieces and nephews, even though they don't really care. They're too young to care about this. But I'll happily show this to anybody. I'm like, I'm proud of this. I made this. And I did all the hard work to do this. And it's like, you're proud of it internal, right? I haven't got any external validation from this, right? It's all internal, which is like a self-fueling thing. It's like, I created this thing. I said I was going to do it. I created this thing. I feel great about myself. Now I feel proud about myself that I went through all what it took to create it. Now I'm going to go and continue this and create book 2. I'm going to prove to myself that I can do it again. That's what happens when you're creating the thing that you want to create. Also, when you're creating the thing that you want to create, what you'll find is that your group of followers or group of subscribers or group of people that you have is going to be smaller, right? It's going to be a smaller group at the beginning. It's going to be a smaller group. That's fine, okay? Because remember, you are appealing to a small group of people, a very small group of people that care about what you care about, which is great. Those are your people, remember. These are your people here, the small group of people. You don't want to be everything to everyone, because if you're everything to everyone, then you're nothing, right? You're lost in the sea of noise. But if you're this person here who creates this kind of stuff, then there's going to be a small group of people that are going to come to you. And eventually, over time, that group's going to get bigger as these people here start to tell other people that, hey, this person here is creating some great stuff. You should go check it out. I think you'll like it, right? They start sharing it on their social media. They start telling other people they know. Maybe they're in a Facebook group, etc. And then it starts to get bigger and bigger. That's how it works. So don't be afraid to like shift. As you're going through your artist journey, you will realize this. As you're going through, hopefully you should be on your artist journey. You should be seeing more of yourself, meaning you should be understanding more of yourself. What's that great phrase? Know thyself. So as I'm going on this journey, I'm starting to learn more about myself. I'm starting to learn more about what I like, what I don't like. And the stuff I don't like, I don't go in near it. The stuff I like, I want more of that in my life because it gives me energy. It makes me feel good about myself. For example, like the heroic stories, right? If I can find a heroic story, whatever format that's in, I like those heroic stories, so I'm going to consume those heroic stories. I'm not going to consume stories of like, I don't know, horror stories. I don't like horror stories, so why would I consume that? That doesn't make sense to me. This is what you start to learn. As the more you progress in your artistic journey, you should learn more about yourself, what you value, right, what you don't value. That's fine. You should learn more about yourself. You should be, this is the whole great thing about being, for me personally as an artist, as I'm going on this journey, I'm learning more about myself, which is just fantastic, right? Know thyself is the best thing ever. Because once you start to know yourself, then you can start to cut off things, right? Ignore things that you don't care about, okay? So there are a lot of things in the world, a lot of noise in the world, and you're like, I don't really care about this, so I'm going to like remove that. Yes, it exists. I know it's there, but I don't really care. I'm not interested, okay? From that, you start to have more time. You're like, oh, I've got all this extra time. What am I going to do with it? Well, I'm going to actually work on my craft, or I'm going to do something that I like. Hey, I'm going to play a video game for a bit, or I'm going to get on the phone with my best friend or something and talk to them, or whatever, right? If you're creating the art that you want to make, then you're going to have the patience with you're not going to quit, right? You're going to have the patience with your progress. You are going to share your knowledge because you want to like pay it forward because somebody helped you get to where you are. You're going to want to get past your failures, understand failures, feedback. You're going to understand criticism and take the right criticism on board and how to use it. You're going to get over jealousy. All right, so jealousy as well. You're going to understand your Jedi mind trick. Turn on jealousy and be like, hey, I'm not actually jealous of that person. I'm going to learn how they became that good so I can become as good as them. And I'm going to move past boredom. I'm going to have stickability, right? So this is where everything overlaps everything else. And this is why it's very, very important. This video here, the 8 things are going to challenge you as an artist and how you need to like overcome them basically. So I've got something special for you in this video, which is like behind the scenes. I've never done this before. I thought I would try in this video. Got to try something new, see what happens, right? In order to get a different result. So I'm going to show you behind the scenes in terms of like how I created this video, in terms of like what I did, the work I did in order for this video to happen, okay? So what I was thinking about this video was like, what are the current challenges I'm having right now? So I've been doing this for 5 years. What is like the top 5, the challenges you need to understand as an artist so you don't quit? Because a lot of people quit too early. I know I did. There's so many things in my life when I was a kid that I quit too early. One of them was like karate class. I think I went to karate class for about a month, maybe less than that, which is about 2 lessons. Was it 2 lessons a week? Something like that. And then I quit, right? Couldn't hack it. So bad. When I've always listened to podcasts, they always say creativity and podcasts regarding artistry. They're saying boredom is an issue. People get bored and quit. And I said that's true as well, because how many people quit their New Year's resolutions? They get bored because they don't see their progress that quickly, and they just get bored doing the same thing over again. They don't see that transformation as quick as possible. That's not the way it works. And I was like, what else? I was thinking like, well, yeah, jealousy. Yeah, man, I had to deal with jealousy all my life. Right now, I'm jealous of people. Yeah, I'm going to put that in the video. Cool. Number 3, I was thinking like, yeah, criticism. Oh my God, criticism is a killer. I know like criticism hurts me when someone says something. So we'll talk about that in the video. Failure. Oh yeah, man, I'm going through so much failure right now. I need to talk about failure. And then like number 5 was something to do with continuously learning. And then obviously, then I built upon that, right? In the video, I was like, I think there's more I can add to the video that can add more value to the video. So that's where I got the other 3 from, where I got basically patience with your progress, and it was sharing your knowledge, and it was creating the art you want. That's where I kind of like got you 8. And I was like, that's enough. I mean, I'm sure there's more, but I didn't want to make this video like super, super long. So I want to show you the work. So this is my, and I think you can see that YouTube video idea scripts. I have a book here where I just write all my YouTube ideas, right? Some of it's nonsense. Some of it is just me thinking, like ideation. So we've got here, I don't know if you can see what am I showing you here. If I move that across here, I don't know if you can see, there's a date over here, 15th. I don't know if I can move that across here. 15th of December, this was done, 2024. So this is me writing down the ideas, right? This is my handwriting. As you can see, all for handwriting. You can see me crossing things out. I was talking about saying, nah, I don't want to put that in the video and all that stuff here. That was there. And then I normally let that sit, right? I don't make the video straight away. I let it sit. When I come up with an idea for a video, I let it sit. I let it, let my brain, like I said, for the patient's progress part. I was like, let it sit in there, right? Let's see what else comes out as I leave it a couple of days, because something will happen where I will think of something different or a different way to view that topic I want to discuss. And then I decided to kind of like start writing again. So this is just a random piece of paper where I decided to rewrite things again. So number one, you can see here, boredom here. And then at the back of the piece of paper here, we've got some more here. And this was, what I'm going to show you now is this is the actual sheet here that I did the video off. So the video I've just recorded here, this is what I've done here from this. This is the notes I put down. So 21st of January 2025 this was. So 21st of January 2025, I don't know if you can see that. So this is all my, basically the notes here. That's the first page here covering all that. And these are all in bullet points, mind you. So these are all in bullet points. I don't know if you can see that. So the reason why I put them in bullet points is because I want this video to be, free flowing. I don't want it to be like you're reading a teleprompter or something like that. I want it to be more natural when I'm talking. So even though the ideas on this particular page, I didn't cover everything, it gives me a general talking points to talk about for each topic area. And I won't cover everything. I know I'll look at this right now and be like, I didn't talk about that. I didn't talk about that. It doesn't matter. It's you've got the main points across. That's what it's all about. It's not about being perfect again. It's about progress. It's about, okay, did I manage to get the information across? That I wanted to in the video that's going to help somebody watching this, and that's what I do. So there's my progress. That's what I do with all my YouTube videos, by the way. And I know I haven't shown it previously in the past, but that's what I've got better at. So I think in my first couple of YouTube videos, I used to do this, but it wasn't as in detailed. I didn't let it breathe, right? I would just write down the topic areas and then I would just create the video straight away. But I wouldn't let it breathe for a bit before I decided to, like, okay, that's the one, let's go and record this, right? And that's how I do my YouTube videos. So that's why it takes a long time for me to do YouTube videos. I don't just like hash it all together. There's a structured approach to it. There's a system. There's a process to it. There's a workflow to it, right? So that's like behind the scenes there of me coming up with this YouTube video. This is what I do with all my YouTube videos, the way I've learned. Patience progress, right? This is going through that patience part, understanding like, okay, I need to get better. How can I get better? This is what I need to do to get better. This is the criticism that I've made of myself sometimes, right? So it's not always criticism from outside. I'm always internally criticizing myself. I'm thinking like, you know what? You could have done this better. You could have done that better. Oh, you didn't talk about this. Next time, talk about this. Next time, write. Before you talk about it, make sure you look at your sheet. Make sure you look at your notes here and then, understand you got to do that. Take a break. You don't have to say everything in one go. You can cut out the particular bits and then do that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. You don't have to remember everything off the top of your head. It's all here. Make sure you do that. So that's the behind the scenes of this video. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it's helped you to get better as artists. Apply these learnings. They're going to help you to become better as an artist. You can even apply this in your life, right? In your own personal life. I've applied this in my personal life anyway, which has helped me out significantly in areas in my life that I struggle with. And don't forget, if you want a heroic story, traditional heroic story, right, where a hero actually saves somebody. Remember those days when a hero used to save somebody? Amazing, right? And where there's action in there, yeah, you got action in here, martial arts action, right? And we've also got fantasy in this story of Tiger Dragon Rebirth. Like, we're going to look at the mythological side of stories, so akamis, divine spirits, gods, all this stuff that I love to do with stories, mythological. And we're starting out with Japanese mythology at first, and we're going to move on to really like Eastern mythology. And we're going to be really covering that kind of like cool stuff as well. So if that's what you want, this book is here for you. Links in the description down below. You can read 24 pages of Tiger Dragon the Rebirth right now. That's free for you. Get on the email list down below. You click on that link and go and read an amazing story that's going to entertain you, empower you, and inspire you. And until the next video, always be learning.